Today, I'm going to be joined by one of the, in my opinion, one of the best investors and smartest investors in my circle, 𝗏𝗏𝗚𝗏. We're going to go over high level about the market. We're going to talk about where we think this market is going heading into election season and to the back half of this year and some of those implications, as well as coins he's allocating into and narratives that he's buying into at the moment in time, because right now, not every narrative is thriving. And I think it's very valuable to kind of see where some of the big brain investors are putting their capital. So we're going to have a high level conversation about narratives, market, projects that we're bullish on. So without further ado, let's get in the game. And first and foremost, before we jump into it, like the video down below and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to push to that 100K mark. Help us out down below and smash the like and subscribe, and leave your comments down below. What are you buying? What are you bullish on? As well, a quick shout out to our sponsors here on In the Game. We have Moon Tropica, 𝗬𝗟𝗧𝗏, NordVPN, as well as all of our exchange partners down below. If you need a place to trade, you can find those in the description down below. But without further ado, I'm going to bring on my friend 𝗏𝗏𝗚𝗏. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I think we're at a time of the market that a lot of people are kind of uneasy or unsure about what's happening at the moment. So I think it's good to bring on someone who I respect a lot in the industry, and I think you're very sharp on some of these narratives and investment stuff, obviously. So let's just jump into it. Like, what are you thinking about the market at the moment in time? Like, we just had this big flush out, and then we really bounced all the way back. I mean, we went from 64K to 50. Now we're hovering around 59, 60K. What do you think about the recent couple weeks in the market? And where do you see maybe the rest of the year playing out, just in general? What is your outlook?
Yeah, I mean, it's been scary the last few weeks. Thankfully, I was off last weekend. I took 48 hours away from the computer. I still got all the pings, so I saw us dumping, but there was nothing I can do. Not that I would have sold. I got a lot of people asking me, hey, should I stable up? But I feel they were too late. Like, they were asking it at like 53K. I'm like, if you didn't sell it, you had 7 opportunities so far this cycle to sell at 68 or above. If you didn't do that, like, why would you sell here? I understand there's a chance we go lower, but I don't want to play that game, because I do think we are going to continue to go higher. Right now, it is scary. Like, we're hovering around 60K. Some people want to get back in who sold, but then, if you buy in now and we end up going back to 50, that's gonna hurt even more. But I am seeing, like, we just had or we're about to have like a death cross on Bitcoin, where like the 50-day moving average goes like under like 200 or vice versa, whatever it is. It doesn't always matter. We did have one in 2023 where literally a week later, like, we mooned. But no, it's definitely scary times. I understand. Personally, I'm just holding. I'm going to continue playing this market. And I am in a different, and you as well, like, as content creators, we're in different positions where we've also we've established an income in Web3, so we could be in Web3 and make money and have our investments, where I think a lot of people are, unfortunately, just they bought, they're holding, and they're praying. So I understand when you see your bags going down, it's not as fun as potentially for me, even though, it sucks when my bags go down. But dude, I'm still bullish long term. I think we hit 100K Bitcoin. Yeah.
Yeah, I think perspective is everything, like you said there. Like, when you read the comments during these time periods or see tweets out there, a lot of people do freak out, but they aren't in a similar position. Maybe they're using, normal job income to get into it. So it is a little bit scarier when you see these big market flushes across the market. So that is good as far as perspective goes as well, because I think we get lost in the industry that we are in, as like content creators. But at the same time, you have to see the bigger picture there. Did you sell anything, or did you just hold through and through?
I held through and through. Like I said, I wasn't even home, so I couldn't have sold even if I wanted to. I couldn't buy the dip, which was also unfortunate. But no, I didn't sell anything, nor did I buy. It would have been a great buying opportunity. I would have been buying meme coins, because those are going to bounce back the hardest, in my opinion. But no, I didn't sell. I didn't even think of selling. Like, no part of me was even thinking like, oh, I should dump. All I was thinking was I should have sold. But no part of me was even considering selling.
Yeah, and even so, no matter what position you're in my opinion, like, sometimes doing nothing is the best strategy. And I think with the outlook that we have, where we are in the 4-year cycle and the catalysts that we've had that are positive, like I think it is a situation you just hold at this point in time. There's really no reason to sell and buy back. Because if you, like you said, if you held down to 52K and you sold thinking we're going to 45, now we're back at 59. It's like you would really be kicking yourself. So I think sometimes the best action is no action, especially just with the timing of the cycle. And speaking of timing, like over the next 3-4 months, election season is going to be really hot. It seems like crypto is pretty mainstream as far as the conversation. Like, even Kamala's trying to get more insight on the crypto stuff. And then obviously Donald Trump has shown support. We'll see if it's actually going to be a narrative for him. What do you think going into election season? What are some bullish maybe factors and what are some bearish factors heading into election season?
It's funny that it seems like the market is pricing in, even not just crypto, like stocks and all that. If Kamala wins, we're going to zero. Like things are going to be horrible. So I don't understand why you would vote for her. And it's the same thing in Canada, dude, with Trudeau. I don't understand why you would vote for a party. And I know Vitalik did tweet like, "Don't vote for your bags," to me, which is completely backward. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I be voting for the quality of my life?
Yeah,
that seems to be the main thing I should be voting for. But I mean, if it's going to be a main issue and Trump's going to really be pushing this narrative of the reserve asset stuff, which I'm not sure he's actually going to push it on the main stage. He didn't even push it himself at Bitcoin Nashville, right? He had the senator push it for. All he said is we're not going to sell. Now he's publicly said in an interview, we should be buying, or we should be selling the Bitcoin we have. And he did say, oh, maybe we pay back our debt with a little crypto check or Bitcoin check, however he phrased it.
Little crypto check.
I hope he gets more bullish on it. And I hope, he publicly says it on like Fox News or wherever the debates are hosted, CNN. I hope he says like, yeah, one of our plans for crypto is to buy, and that's going to be really bullish. But outside of that, I don't know how you felt about him speaking at Nashville. It seems like he didn't know what he was talking about at all. The other guy, what's his name? The Kennedy guy, he was talking about like way more details, and he seems a lot more informed.
Yeah, I think the problem with it right now, and it's crazy that these are our two best candidates, Kamala and Donald Trump, regardless of what you think. It's just crazy that this is what we're stuck with at the moment in time. And yeah, like you said, for quality of life purposes, everyone has money in the market. So it's like, of course, I'm going to vote for my bags at the end of the day. Maybe I don't know what side Vitalik's on, but that's neither here nor there. But definitely, I mean, Kennedy definitely knows more about the industry, but he would have no chance against the Democratic Party. I think that's where the problem would lie. And then, Donald Trump, like you said, he's minted, created, and hosted in America. It's like, okay, created, that doesn't happen anymore, buddy. Like you can't just create Bitcoin out of thin air these days. So yeah, I think obviously for the market's perspective, I think for like just overall sentiment across every market, housing, stocks, crypto, I think things would just fare better if we get, Donald Trump in office. But at the end of the day, we are still on the 4-year cycle timeline. Would you foresee, obviously the Democrats have been very anti-crypto. Would you foresee that they try to actually like kill crypto over like before the real course of the bull market? Because I don't really think that they would, like with how much it's been pushed with ETFs and stuff, I don't necessarily see it being like shut out completely, but definitely one side would maybe make it a little bit of a priority versus the other. What do you think?
I don't think they'll kill it. I think now they're becoming a lot more open to it. I do think they would try to push the whole CBDC stuff, which centralized central bank digital currencies, which Trump has said it'll never happen under him. I think, yeah, their rules would probably be more harsh. They'd let the SEC run wild, whereas Trump has said like, yeah, all this stuff is changing. So I think if the Republicans win, it would be a lot more friendly for businesses. Whereas if the Dems win, even though I don't think they're going to try to kill Bitcoin, not that they can, but they might still put a lot of red tape or barriers up for companies.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Now let's get into the things that people really want to hear. And that's, coins that we like, maybe where you're allocating capital at this point in time. Overall, like, Obviously, I think everyone's bullish Solana, but just at a high level, I have been stacking my bags higher on certain blue chips. And I think like people in this market, and you delve in the meme coins just like I do, it feels like the lower IQ investments these days make more money. And what I mean by that is just like looking across the market, seeing where the strengths are and allocating into it with hardly due diligence. I'm in MOG because of the culture. I don't need to know, this or this about what's going on in the project. Like it's got the sentiment, it's got liquidity, it's running with the culture. That's good enough for me. So like, as far as blue chips go, I know you're bullish Solana. What else are you allocated as far as like some of the like the top tier coins?
I'm very conservative with my port there. I sold a lot of stuff a while back. Most of my gaming, most or all my AI, I pretty much just have Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana. A bit too much Bitcoin, but that has to do more with like Canada and taxes. So my core portfolio is mainly just Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and then meme coins.
Okay. And that leads us into an interesting combo that I did want to have because obviously, and I think you still think that gaming will have a massive run this cycle, but it's an attention economy. And right now, the attention is definitely not with gaming. It's not even with AI, RWA, all these flashy niches that have popped up over the course of the last couple of years. All the attention's with memes. So, like, as someone, I know you're bullish gaming in general. Why are you steering clear from gaming coins right now? And then where are you getting your gaming exposure from?
Yeah, I guess it's the whole altcoin cycle. I don't see it happening in the near future, but the casino is always going to be here, and that casino is on meme coins. I mean, a lot of people are in the trenches, which I have been doing some of that stuff like on Pump Fund, but I came to the realization very quickly that I think I'm better off waiting for a token to have a good narrative and just sizing into it versus, trying to buy these, 20K market cap token on Pump Fund that's going to last 30 seconds. I dabbled there, but I just lost money. So I do see the gaming narrative happening and very well. Same thing for AI RWA, but right now it's just the RWA stuff is too complicated. I always say like if I ask pretty much anybody, what's your top 5 favorite RWAs, except for like you or somebody who really knows the industry, they don't know. They can name me like Ondo or Mantra or something, but outside of that, they don't know. But if I say what are your top 15 favorite meme coins, they're gonna know 15 meme coins.
Yeah.
So that's where the attention is. That's where the money. I don't see anybody posting like, "Hey, I made 100K this week on gaming or RWA," but I see it all the time on meme coins. So that's where the attention is going to be. And when attention is there, that's where I'm going to go. As for where am I getting my exposure from? A lot of pre-sales, unfortunately, that are not launching. Some of them did launch, did well. Some of them did launch. I've also gotten refunds. I've asked them like, "Hey guys, it's been like 8 months here. When are you launching? I want a refund." Some of them have done it. Some of them haven't. But NFTs and airdrops are the section I'm getting a lot of gaming exposure from. Super Champs, GOAT, things like that.
Yeah. So I think that's interesting. So a lot of people are sitting in gaming coins, and look, myself included, but my thesis over the last 6, really 4 months or so, since the gaming niche really kind of cooled off, because we've had 3 core gaming runs over the last year. It would have been August last year with Prime, October with Big Time, February whenever Pixels and Mavia ran, and the whole gaming industry kind of took a big leg up at that time. But ever since then, my bags, I was a little more widespread in low market caps. I've really just consolidated it into like Beam, Super, Prime, Ronin, those types of protocols that have just really high level, good product, good infrastructure plays. But for you, you're getting your exposure from really future speculation with the airdrop stuff. What do you like as far as risk goes? It seems like a way less risk on in a way that you're doing it. So what's your strategy as far as like, if you're telling someone how to optimally farm these things or get exposure to it, how would you go about it? Maybe if you had, let's just say like a random retail investor has 3 ETH to maybe dabble with some of these NFTs and future speculative plays, how would you play that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I have access. I get to ask teams questions and even advisors, and fish for info. I try to put it in my videos. Yeah, if you had 3 ETH and you want to put it specifically in gaming, that's a tough one. because that's only, it's what right now it's only like 6K or 7K. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd grab it if you're okay. If you want to do gaming, yeah, I mean, I personally I like the NFT side. If you want free exposure, I mean, just farm some of these airdrops. You're not going to get the days of getting like $10,000 from an airdrop for retweeting something are over. You're not going to have that. But I do believe if you're playing Super Champs, if you're playing GOAT, if you're farming these campaigns, you're farming them a lot, you're going to get hundreds of dollars from their airdrop. And then if you have the NFT for Super Champs, that's going to give you a boost on your airdrop. And the NFT itself, I mean, I did my calculations. If they hit 100 mil market cap, which I think is very possible, they're like the top 2 games on base. Their games are actually really fun. Like, dude, I went and bought a Backbone to play Bullet League. Like, I actually really enjoy the game. So those ones, you're going to get $100. If you have the NFT and you're farming a lot, I think you're going to get, minimum $1,000. And it's not like the NFTs go to zero once the airdrop happens. They're going to have multiple seasons. And I've spoken to the team. The rewards in the future seasons are going to be great. Just like Pirate Nation is doing. Like, a lot of projects learned from Pirate Nation. Now, obviously, they're higher. I started talking about these at 0.06, 07-ish. But I did buy a lot at like all the way up to like 0.15. And I've been waiting for them to dump, and they're not. They held even throughout the market dump. They held. So I like these a lot. At current prices, I do think if you're farming, I think the airdrop is going to be higher than what they're currently worth. And then same thing for GOAT Gaming. I do think even without playing, the airdrop is going to be higher than the current floor. I'll have a video on that in the near future. I'm just waiting for their season 2 to start before dropping the video, because I don't want to do it when season 1's about to end.
Yeah, I know GOAT has a lot coming in season 2. And kind of the same thing for gaming exposure without having to go very high level or like stack a bunch of capital into it. I've been really pushing these airdrops. I think like for me, if I had 3 ETH, I'd maybe do 5 Infinigods. That's 0.85 at floor price. You'll probably have to play 0.9, 0.95 just as the floor progresses. 5 Super Champs, 5 GOAT Gaming, and maybe a Rumble Kong because of the 30% going to the community. But with the airdrops that I'm actively allocating into, that's probably where that would probably add up to like 2.8 ETH. But that's maybe where I would link in my exposure. And then, like you said, it's completely free to go in, complete the quests, play the game, and just really stack up those points. But these NFTs give you nice exposure as far as like the multipliers and the bonuses. So yeah, good insight. The one question, do you hold a single gaming coin in your portfolio, 𝗲𝗏𝗏?
Right now, I don't think so, dude. Thinking about it, I probably have some carrot. Yeah, I think I have some carrot. So it's funny because I made that video on where I think the market's going, and the one gaming token I spoke about was Prime, which I am bullish on. But I just saw the market crashing, and I had bought in at 16. I think I sold at like 11 or 12, 11, 12. I forget where I sold. Maybe it was less, and I got wrecked. I don't know. I took a loss on it, but I saw us going lower. Now I think we're under $6. I'm still very bullish on Prime. I just don't think the market's going to take that leg up in gaming right now. So I don't have exposure to it. I'd rather have exposure to meme coins, which are my meme coins are MOG, MEW. They're performing very well. Okay, it's at $6 right now. In my video, it was at $5.40. And YP screenshotted my video, and he posted, "Hey, here's 𝗲𝗏𝗏's predictions." I said $50. I remember when we did a show. Yeah, we did a show not long ago. We said $100. I still believe it can get to $100. I just wanted to be conservative in my video. And I said $50. And some of the comments are saying like, no way, like as if I'm crazy. I'm like, dude, the market cap is going to be like $5 billion. Like,
this is a multi-billion-dollar coin. Easy.
Yeah. Pepe was just at $7 billion. People are calling me crazy for saying, because all they're looking at is the price. They just see $5 to $50. No way. And it's like,
not a chance. But circulating market cap's 200. A 10x is $60. And that's only 2 billion. And the peak games last cycle were Axie hit 25 billion. Like, what are we talking? Like, how crazy is that? It's not really that insane to think about. So I'm with you. For me, I'm still firmly in the 50, maybe because gaming hasn't caught that bid yet, 50 to 100 range, but probably closer to 50. And I think that's very realistic.
Yeah. And like, dude, I'm very excited for Colony. I will actively be playing their game. It's AI, so the game plays itself. I really like the parallel card game. I'm just not really into card games, and it's complicated. I still hold multiple decks, but I don't have the time to play it actively. But the game, their whole Their world building with their cinematics is awesome, and they have this AI game, just like 𝗩𝗡𝗄𝗧𝗏. They're dabbling in the AI side of things. Like those are two projects where I love what they're doing, and I'm very bullish on them long term.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think Carrot is really one of also the only like new cycle tokens that has like recently launched that I would be comfortable stacking into because of favorable vesting and just the way that they're going about. I mean, Pirate probably is up there too. I have no exposure to Pirate as far as the token goes, but if I'm going into a new cycle token with generous vesting, it's definitely going to be Carrot. What about AI? I know AI had a massive run. Do you have anything like Render or like 𝗨 in your portfolio, or have you completely shifted away from anything AI at the moment?
Yeah, I shifted because when with the market performing the way that it was, I just wanted no exposure to altcoins. I'm still very bullish on AI. I think even beyond Web3, just in the world, I think AI is going to be, it's way underpriced. There is like a bubble with NVIDIA and stuff, but I think it's going to be so much bigger than we expect it to be. And it's going to be a major part in most people's lives. 10 years from now, we're probably all going to be daily interacting with AI on our phone, even less than 10 years, probably. Render would be the top one I'd buy just to be on the safer side. I never really got into 𝗨, but I do hear, like, I think on, it's on Crypto Banter. I think they talk, is that 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏? That's what the name is.
Yeah,
right?
𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, yeah.
So they talk about all the time. They're bullish. So those are two that I'd be comfortable putting in just because of the amount I hear about them. And then on the more gamble side, like I held a good amount of GPU. Like I said, I sold it just because it's a lower cap one and I didn't want to take the risk at the time. But I'd probably get back into GPU Render. Those are two that I'd buy if I was going to buy AI coins right now. I know Becker's been posting a lot about them.
AI coins have been a journey. Whenever this OPSEC thing happened, like the compromise, this GPU went all the way down to 45 cents. And then Becker posted an AI video and it went back up to $1.20. It's been holding this 90-cent level pretty nicely. This is definitely, I only have a couple in my portfolio these days. I think that 𝗨 and Render are easy. And to be honest, a lot of people are so bearish, like, oh, why would I buy Solana now? But it's like, you have conviction in something and you know it's going to do multiples this cycle. Why would you not be in a coin that has such strength like that? So for me, like, I don't think that people are so scared, like, oh, TON is 17 billion hustle. How much upside does it have? I'm like, well, Solana is like 80 right now. If Solana goes to a couple 100 billion in the peak bull market, TON's probably going to go to 80 to 100 billion. Like, I don't think that that's out of the question. So I think people are kind of jaded on the market cap stuff. Like, oh, I missed this coin because it's $1 billion, but really, we're not really in peak euphoria of altcoins yet.
Or they just look at the price. They just look, oh, it went from $5 to 15. I missed it. But it's like,
yeah, when in general, price really doesn't matter. It's all about market cap and it's all about where we are in the cycle. And I guess you would say you have a little AI exposure through Carrot because of NVIDIA, Palantir, et cetera. And then also, like you said, Prime has a little bit of AI exposure. But let's get into the main character of the cycle, which is meme coins. And I have to ask you, before we talk about our favorite memes, why do you think that meme coins have taken over the way that they have this cycle? Why do you think utility coins have taken a backseat? And do you think that when retail comes in, it's going to be majority through meme coins?
I think it has a lot to do with culture and just the internet. We're generations of the internet, especially Gen Z. They didn't know a world without internet. And yeah, it's just a lot of culture, memes. It's the stuff we interact with every day. It's a lot easier to understand. Again, what are your top 5 favorite AI or RWA coins versus what are your top 15 memes? You could probably name the memes, like, just you could see the image in your head, right? Oh, the dog has a hat, or Billy, or Mog, or whatever it is. Versus, like, most people probably can't explain to me what this AI coin does versus another one. What's the difference between GPU and PAL?
I think the difference is, GPU rendering, and then this does this, when it's just like, I like Brett and Mog.
Yeah. It goes viral a lot easier. Like, you can make cool memes with it. You can make cool art. I think it's really just a culture thing and simplicity. Narrative is very important. Billy to a Billy. Like and then people start to be, oh yeah, it's probably going to a Billy. Like, oh, it hit 100. It's probably going to go to like, it becomes a lot easier to understand.
Yeah. For your meme coin holds, because in like the same way, I play around on like BullX and Pump Fund, but it's so volatile. I'm so much more focused on my long-term meme portfolio, which sounds crazy, but like there's some I just have so much confidence in holding for a duration of time. How do you play it? Do you play it just by social sentiment? Do you like to pick the top ones on each chain? How do you kind of decide where you want to allocate it? As we know, some of these things go through rotations. ETH has a narrative, probably Mog and Pepe are going to run. If base really gets hot, we know Brett's the leader there. How do you kind of pick and choose where you allocate, whether it's through chains or how do you really decide which memes you go the heaviest on?
Yeah, I agree. Like, so the top player per chain, like the Brett is a perfect example, and that one absolutely crushed it. It got a lot of criticisms for, oh, the team holds supply, the whole crash stuff ended up being a good thing. I mean, you can't be mad at the guy. He gave everybody a literal, like, what is it, 500x, or I don't know what the multiple is, but an insane return. The base is really hit or miss. I feel like the whole base summer lasts like 3 days, and then everything pumps for 3 days, and then it dies. But I do expect if there's a winner, it makes sense that it would be Brett. It's currently the one that's closest to a bill. It's the first one on base that crossed the bill. We recently had that cat Miggles, Mr. Miggles. Everybody thought that was going to take off, and then Coinbase stopped posting about it. There's always risk with this stuff, so it's very difficult. I feel it's a lot safer with the air quotes here, putting in the top ones. So yeah, I go for Pepe. Although I do find Pepe has been underperforming, even though the narrative. I hear a lot of like the content creators talk about it, but as long as ETH is underperforming, I think Pepe is going to underperform. One that's been performing better on ETH has been Mog, which we both hold. We're both big fans of. This one has been performing crazy. Like any dip has been just like buy territory, and then you double up. It's been crazy. Even that's why I wished I was home last weekend during the crash, because there's like a crew of cat coins. There's their own narrative here. A crew of cat coins, which is Mog, Popcat, Mew, and then there's some smaller ones like Michi and Mini and all. But Mog, Popcat, and Mew are all around like 450 to 550 mil market cap. There was a race. Which one's going to make it to $1 billion first? I do believe they're all going to rise together or fall together. So I don't have exposure to Popcat right now. I do want some. But I love those 3 coins. I have a lot of Mew and a lot of Mog. And yeah, I'm just picking these ones, I guess, based on sentiment, the narrative, the whole cat coin narrative. And they're spoken about so much. Like everybody is bullish on these. So they're going to get a lot of attention.
Yeah. I think Mog is like the clear ETH. People would call it like a beta behind like a Pepe. But
Yeah.
even we've shown that Pepe doesn't even need to run for Mog to have strength. What's crazy too is literally if anyone bought the dip on Mog, they're already up 100%. It bounced, it dropped like 50% in a matter of days, and now it's literally recovered 100%. So that was the easiest double up on your money that you could have seen. And yeah, ever since that, whenever I look at my gainers in my portfolio, it's like, oh, Mog is like at the top of the list literally every single day. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Brett, big fan of Mog. What do you think of Soul memes? Soul seems to have the most degenerate community, but as the meme coiners would call it, the most jeeters as well. So why do you think we don't see as many memes run to like bonk and whiff type of levels as we see on these other chains whenever a meme clearly takes hold, gets to multiple hundreds of mil, if not, a billion, some of these chains? What do you think holds Solana back from that? And then on top of that, maybe what are some of the memes on Sol that you're willing to hold long term?
Yeah, I guess maybe it's a culture thing. I'm not sure. It spawned from NFTs, right? NFTs were the same. I remember getting whitelists for, man, I'm getting the images in my head of these different whitelists where like it would die within 5 minutes. Like it would be a good flip, and then people would just undercut so aggressively. A lot of people used to blame the gas and like no gas fees, no fees. So people are willing to flip for very small amounts of profits. Maybe that came into Solana. I think also being able to launch coins so easily with Pump Fund, like there's just so much coming at us. But yeah, we're seeing a lot of new coins on on Sol either die very quickly. There are a lot that, do well. There's like Mumu the Bull is doing really well. Yeah, Ponky is one. Their marketing is great. I see them all the time on Instagram. With the whole, what's funny is we had the 𝗨𝗟𝗧𝗥, the new Doge, whatever, and there was a battle of which Solana, because there was two, which Solana one is going to win, and the one that won is an ETH one, and that one, dude, that one is sitting at what, like 250 mil, 200 mil right now.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
210, 213. Yeah.
What scares me about these coins though is how little liquidity they have. If like one whale decides to nuke, like he can crush the market cap very quickly.
Yeah, that's the problem with a lot of these things. And like for me, I think like a month ago, I was across maybe 6-7 long-term Solana memes. Like I still like Landwolf quite a bit. It's getting pushed quite nicely. Billy's kind of died off as far as the hype recently. I rode that one up. I did take some good profits on it, but back to 50 mil. Do you think Billy can come back, or do you think that this one's kind of like losing narrative a little bit?
I think it's losing narrative. Look, it's a cute dog. I should have bought it just when I saw how cute the dog was when it was like 20. But dude, even dog with hat, like I'm not as bullish as a lot of people are on that one.
Yeah. I don't know. The Sol memes, there's only a few that I'm willing to hold. For me right now, it's Wolf and Ponky. Those are the only two long-term memes in my Sol portfolio that I'm like really heavy on. Are there any other chains that you're bullish meme coins? Like, because I think people like I got in the early sale for Foxy, so I like Foxy on Linea. I think that Ton memes would have a narrative, but it hasn't really played out yet. Are there really any other chains outside of ETH, Base, Sol, maybe AVAX with 𝗨𝗟𝗏, but I'm not even allocated into 𝗨𝗏. Are there any other chains you're bullish, like long-term meme coins?
Not really. It's very short term. I mean, for Ton, I was in resistance dog for a while. Thankfully, I got out because I just looked at it now. It's at 46 mil. It touched 20 during the crash. That's crazy. Thankfully, I got out of this one, but I was bullish. And if Ton memes are going to pump, I do expect this one to pump. But the attention is very much just on Solana and ETH for memes. So when I trade these other ones, these other chains, it's quick. The one benefit they have is that the chain itself wants that volume. So they're way more likely to either publicly push these or just secretly. Like I know of funds from the chains that are kind of looking to push some of these meme coins without like leaking what it is. They're looking to put money in this stuff. So you could catch one that does extremely well. And then you're going to get like a bunch of derivatives, or you're going to get like a couple days where people are just launching memes on that chain and you can get some nice flips. But personally, I'm not holding any long-term, like you said, there's Foxy, there's Brett on Base. I'm willing to take a gamble on the top ones, but man, there's so many chains, and what's gonna push or what's gonna pull people in. I don't know. It's a very big gamble.
Yeah, for sure. I'm very much just heavy in my highest conviction plays. The one that I know that are going to pan out, as crazy as that is, like the sure bets in meme coins. That's a wild thing to say. If you told me that I was going to have sure bets in meme coins like a year ago, I'd be like, you're insane. But that's just where we are in the cycle. And I have to ask, go ahead.
I was going to say, people need to realize the risk. Look at what happened this weekend and it happens at NFTs. Look at what just happened with that Trump coin. And then it came out that it was like the founder of 𝗵𝗡𝗄𝗎𝗡𝗅𝗏𝗡𝗅𝗔. And the NFT, even though it had nothing to do, the NFT took like a 50% haircut. So there's risks in all of this stuff. And people, if you're going to go into, you need to understand or recognize the arena you're playing in. And if you're going into meme coins, like be ready to lose it all. But if you win, you're going to win big.
Yeah, exactly. It is the risky side of crypto, but right now this is where the liquidity and attention is, and I think it can't be ignored. What would you tell an investor that's maybe all in utility coins and they're like, this altcoin cycle has sucked, but I hate meme coins? Like, what would you tell that type of an investor? Because there are some people who are all in to memes. Like, and for me, I have my gaming portfolio. It's there whenever the time comes. But for me, my attention right now is heavily into the meme coin market because that's where the money, that's where the dollars are being made between the lines. So for you, what would you tell someone who's maybe like a complete utility coin investor? They want to invest in projects that they feel like can make an impact or grow in utility. What would you tell them to maybe get them over the hurdle on just absorbing a couple of the top meme coins?
Yeah, I mean, if you're fine waiting a long time for your stuff to pan out, you got to be a long-term investor to have that mindset. If not, again, it's like the people who hated NFTs in 2021. They didn't want to get into it. Like, I made my money, my wealth in NFTs, and it did very well for me. And there's a lot of people who came in and just got absolutely destroyed. So the same thing could happen to you in memes, but just look where all the attention is. Look where all the multiples are. And look at what happened last cycle, dude. Doge went to what, 130 bill market, like and Shiba, insane market caps. Like, culture is very important, especially internet culture. Like, it is never going away. So this stuff is always going to have power. It's always going to have attention. And for the time being, that's where the spotlight is. And that's where people want to play. And I don't think, even when we do have this altcoin run, gaming, RWA, AI, all the DeFi, all the utility tokens, even when they do run, I don't think memes are going away. I think they're going to continue to do well. So
yeah, I completely agree.
What would I tell him? Have fun staying poor. That's what I tell him.
Oh, there you go. Get mugged.
Yeah,
get mugged. My last question for you, Gorilla. Obviously, I think both of us have played off the grid. We can't say too much, but would you say that that's the game that's probably going to break crypto gaming out of its? I wouldn't call it a slump, because, like, although the narrative isn't hot, there are some successful projects out there now, as opposed to maybe a year ago. It was kind of like dicey as far as the market. But would you say, based on what you've seen with off the grid, that that's going to be the one that could probably revive the gaming narrative in full force?
I'm very hopeful. Adoption wise, of people actually playing the game, yes. Will they care about the token? That's always a tough one. Like, a lot of people go back to 𝗟𝗓 and always, oh, is this going to be the 𝗟𝗓 of the cycle? Like, that was right. There was all the scholars and people were making a lot of money. That's going to depend on how many people are able to make money with this game. If you're selling skins or getting the coin, whatever it is. But gameplay wise, like, this is awesome. I'm going to play later today. Once they open their beta or whatever we call it. Yeah, this is an awesome game. I think a lot of people are going to be talking about it, trying it out. They had Dr. Disrespect and a few other streamers who were pushing it. So it'll be interesting to see what their marketing plans are. But yeah, when you look at this, you would never know it's a Web3 game, and they've done a very good job at disguising that side of it. There's no like mention of NFTs. We know of the guns token, but like the Web2 people have no idea,
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm hopeful, but I'm not sure if it's going to spark the run. I'm not sure what will, to be honest. But when we do, like, yeah, hopefully my pre-sales do well. Hopefully NFTs. I think back to the last time it all ran, and your channel still is doing incredibly well, but was doing incredibly well. A lot of people wanted you to just drop tickers because those were going to pump. Same thing with Becker. And I remember like your NFT shot up like crazy. Neo Tokyo shot up like crazy. I think those are going to be telltale signs of like, okay, gaming's here, because everybody wants to get into the communities to have the know-how. Because if they're in your community, that's where a lot of the alpha is going to be. So I'm excited for that, because I'm a holder of your NFT. So I want my bags to pump. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really looking to one game to save the space. It's an overall narrative, in my opinion, that's going to move it. But I do think the Web 2 people are going to get exposure to Web 3 through this game.
Yeah, and what's cool for people out there that don't know, it has been live on PC. If you fill out the Pioneers program, as long as you're in an eligible region, you can play. But as of tomorrow, they're accepting new players on PlayStation 5. So for you guys that maybe don't have a crazy gaming PC and can hop in, if you just have a console, this is coming to PlayStation and Xbox, but PS5 this weekend. And I have both. I have a PC that I've been playing it on and a PlayStation. I filled out the PlayStation form because I want to see like a Web3 game on a console. Like, let's go. I want to check this out. You know what I mean? So I'm really excited about that. And I know I said last question, but because you are a big brain NFT investor, and like you said, you made your hay at one point in the NFT market. Do you see the NFT market making like a cultural comeback this cycle? Where do you see NFTs right now? what's maybe been the downside? Are memes obviously hurting the NFT side of things, or where do you see NFTs going maybe over the duration of the rest of the cycle?
Memes are, like I've said this to you, that memes are the NFTs of this cycle.
Yeah.
So I do not think we're going to have an NFT run like we did last time. I do think we're going to have a run on them. And the whole whitelist game is going to come back stronger. But right now, the way I'm playing it, I'm just buying NFTs that have a token attached to them. So the tennis champs, the GOAT, the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, those are the ones that I hold. I hold double digits of each, like 10 or more for each of those collections, because I do think the airdrops are going to be good. But I want some backing to the NFT. I want to know where the money is going to come from and how I'm going to profit off of this, not just buy and hold a PFP and hope like the culture's there, because the culture's in the meme coins. Now, again, I do like, if you look at things like 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 or 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 on Solana, those ones have been doing good because the culture's there. But I've sold most of my NFTs. I'm only holding stuff that's going to lead to a token, or like I do have some ordinals, some OMBs, just because I don't want to take the loss on them, even though it would have been smart for me to do, because I could have bought back cheaper. I do think they have a comeback, but I don't think we're going to see the NFT cycle like we did in 2021.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. I think selective bets are solid. Like you said, gaming run comes back around. You're probably going to see Neo Tokyo as a great example of one that just flies in floor price. Certain
and this thing of ours, dude, I think your community is gonna thrive.
When the narrative's there, the narrative is definitely there. It's shown over the course of time. And niche groups really are going to do well at certain points of the cycle. But yeah, overall, NFTs, not where I'd be allocating long-term capital currently.
Yeah, it's not bad to have some exposure, even the art side of things. But I mean, even look at punks. And we had our first sale of a punk under 20 ETH for the first time in a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy just to see where that market is, and like Bored Apes are at like all-time lows. It's just crazy to see the way that that's shifted over time. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, I really appreciate you. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you take a double hit because ETH's going down and the value in ETH of your Bored Ape is going down. So not only are they worth 9 ETH, they're worth 9 ETH, and ETH is half the price of when they were at 150, and you could have sold it at 4K ETH versus like 2K ETH now. So you took a double hit.
And your ape coin is down like 90%. So everything you got associated with there, that's just tough. We're bullying the community at this point. But 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, I really appreciate you coming on, man. I think this is an awesome show. I never go over half an hour with anyone, so we're like 40 minutes in, and I just think it was a super valuable conversation, and I just appreciate your time, man.
Appreciate you having me, dude. I'd love to come back anytime.
Yeah, of course. We'll have to do this again. Guys, like the video down below, subscribe to the channel as well. Check out our sponsors in the description. I have told my friends like 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 that I need to chat with the team here at Moon Tropica, one of our sponsors. It's seriously one of the most fun games. They have all the memes that we talked about in today's show, literally as characters, and you can meme your friends. Like 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 can pick me up and throw me off the map and literally mog me. Like it's crazy fun. So shout out to Moon Tropica. I know that their public game is coming out pretty soon, so I had to give a quick shout out there to one of our sponsors. So guys, like the video, subscribe, and definitely go follow 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, Crypto Gorilla YT, and then on YouTube, just Crypto Gorilla. Definitely check out his channel. He shares a lot of alpha. You do 3 videos a week, something like that?
2 videos and then a live stream. And now I also do the live stream with you. We do the Alpha Wolves as well. It's just I don't air that on my show. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, like I said, I appreciate you coming on. And guys, we will see y'all on the next one. Like and subscribe. Follow 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. You will not regret it. You'll get tons of alpha. And as always, play well, my friends.